Out some of the summer activities, not only is the heat having an impact on families, but so are tariffs. So, as families gear up for summer activities, you may be surprised to find some of your favorite seasonal items are coming up with a higher price tag this year. We're talking from children's bicycles to barbecue grills, and officials say that new tariffs are driving up some of these costs. So, from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, they've released a new analysis showing how much more expensive summer has become. Joining us from Washington, D.C. right now, Neil Bradley, who is the Vice President and Chief Policy Officer at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for joining us this morning, Neil.
Jane, it's great to be with you. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Appreciate your expertise and some insight to the big picture here on tariffs. What prompted U.S. Chamber of Commerce to look into these specific summer items?
Yeah, so it's summer, it's hot, and we got to thinking about all the things that every one of us tend to enjoy in summer. And it occurred to us that these things, if we're going out and we're buying a new grill or maybe a new bicycle because our kids have outgrown the old one, or, I like to fish and I wanted a new fishing reel. I wanted a new cooler to put some cold ones in on my fishing trip. These are all things that Americans typically buy, but they also happen to be things that we largely import into the United States. And the federal government has imposed new tariffs, which is just another word for taxes, on all of those items. And they range anywhere from a 10% tax increase to nearly 60%. And so we're really concerned that over time, we're going to end up paying more for the summer fun essentials because of these tariffs.
All right, I mentioned bicycles, maybe some of the barbecue grills. What are some of the other common summer items that families are going to notice when they go shopping at the store?
Yeah, swimwear, sandals, sunscreen. These are all items that have had new tariff increases put on them. It's hot, right? It's particularly hot in the eastern United States today. And, sometimes you want to help your pet cool off by getting one of those little plastic pools outside. Well, guess what? We import most of those little plastic pools. And so we're going to see price increases on all of those things. There was a survey just done of businesses there in North Carolina, and nearly 50% of them said that over the last 2 weeks, they're paying more for the things that they're buying. A lot of that's being driven by tariffs. And of course, if half the businesses in North Carolina are paying more for the goods that they buy, well, what's that mean? It means you and I are going to be paying more when we buy those things in the store. And so this is a price increase that we can see coming, but it's one that we actually think we can avoid if we change public policy a little bit.
Your report also talks about how small businesses are going to be impacted. Again, in the Carolinas, plenty of these small businesses, mom and pop stores, carry a lot of the items that you talk about. Why small businesses are particularly going to be impacted?
Yeah, sometimes we think about companies that import things and we think, oh, that's just the big businesses, right? With the big stores, and they can afford this. Well, the truth is that of all the people who import into the United States, 97% are small businesses. There's about 11,000 small businesses in North Carolina, the vast majority of them small businesses who import things. And if you're a small business, it's already hard enough. But think of it this way. If the things that you're importing have gone up in price by 10%, 25%, 50% because of these tariffs, that's a huge price increase that you're immediately hit with, that you immediately have to pay to the federal government. We've talked to small businesses who say these tariffs are putting their very survivability at risk because they can't afford to write a $100,000 check to the federal government.
Yeah, so instead of absorbing those costs, most likely passing it on to the consumer, right?
That's right. And so these tariffs have to be paid by somebody. And if you're a small business, you can't just absorb a 25% increase in the cost of the things that you buy. What does it mean? It means less money for wages for a new employee or pay increases for your existing employee. And ultimately, it means higher prices for your customers. And so this is going to impact all of us, not just the stores on Main Street, but all of us who shop local.
Beyond the summer items, then, what does this trend show you about beyond the summer season?
Yeah, so the summer season, the price increases have been slow to take effect because a lot of this stuff was imported before the tariffs, but it's coming. But what's right around the corner after summer? Back to school. What do we need for back to school? Kids' clothes, and we need new pens and pencils and calculators, and these are all things that are going to see price increases. And then right around the corner from that, well, it's the cold of winter. And you're talking about hats and coats, all things that are going to see price increases. And so this is the problem with these tariffs. They're hitting virtually everything. And that means that the prices that we pay on virtually everything are going to start increasing.
As far as solutions go, looking beyond this, what is specifically U.S. Chamber of Commerce doing or partnering with and talking about some of these concerns with policymakers?
Yeah, we've put a proposal in front of the Trump administration. We said, listen, we know you're in the middle of negotiating with other countries. We want to see successful trade deals negotiated. But if you're a small business, you may not be able to wait weeks or months for a resolution of these tariffs. And so what the administration could do, and what we suggested that they do, is exempt small businesses. If you're a small business, then you're exempt from the tariffs. You don't have to worry about coming up with $50,000 or $100,000 to pay the federal government. You can get back to running your business, serving your customers, and providing them the best possible price. And so we think that's an important step that can be taken right now to protect businesses on Main Street and ultimately protect us, the consumer.
And yeah, speaking of which, for families then trying to navigate these higher costs at the store this summer, what do you tell them trying to still have that fun without paying the higher costs?
Yeah, Americans have gotten used to, unfortunately, some of these price increases. And so, people are having to pick and choose and they're having to shop around. And it may mean that we're asking our son to go a little longer before he gets that new bike. But here's the problem. We shouldn't have to do that. This is a policy choice coming out of Washington. And just as quickly as these tariffs came in, they can go away. And so our biggest plea to policymakers in Washington, D.C. is help American families remove these tariffs. And let's not make people choose between whether they can get their kid a new bike or back to school clothes.
All right. Thank you for breaking down these important issues. Neil Bradley from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Appreciate your insight.